Yo, what up, Alpha 2.0 Nation? Don't you love it when these podcasters are like, what up, Trash Can Manufacturers Nation? What up, Nation? I will never condescend to my audience. I will never call you Nation. Oh my God. This is Caleb Jones, and this is the Alpha Male 2.0 podcast, freedom-focused lifestyle design for men. This is another one of those free-form podcasts that I have no outline for and no agenda for. I have a topic, but I don't have an outline, so we'll see how this goes. What I have in front of me right now as I record this, I'm staring at so I have two screens. I have my laptop, then I have a big 30, 28, 35, I forget how long this monitor is, big curved monitor here. And I am looking at the spreadsheet that shows the name of every woman I have ever had sex with. And if you know my material, if you're familiar with my content, I have tracked my entire sex life, my entire dating life, down to the most minutest of details since September of 2008. So I have 12 years of hard data, at least for me. This is obviously applies just to me and no one else, but I have 12 years of very specific data, events, dates, women, ages, scenarios, all kinds of things. And so I have many tabs and many spreadsheets, but this particular spreadsheet is kind of just a list here of every woman I've ever had sex with. It shows a few columns of a few informational pieces like the age at which the women were the first time I had sex with them. And I had to put that in there, the age of the first time, because many of these women I've been having sex with for years and years and years and years and years. As always, I do not do one-night stands. I think one-night stands are stupid. I teach long-term, happy, non-monogamous relationships. And so my objective when I have sex with a woman, and this is serious, and I'm being literal here, is to have sex with her for the rest of my life, probably off and on as she comes and goes with boyfriends and things like that. As long as she doesn't get fat and as long as she doesn't give me drama, those are the only two things that would cause me to leave a woman. Maybe, I guess, if she got married, but then she would leave me, I guess, right? But anyway, so a lot of these women here, as I'm going down the list, what I'm going to do for this podcast real quick is I'm just going to go down this list and give you some examples and scenarios that just come up into my head as I go down these lists of names. But anyway, as I was saying earlier, a lot of these women, boy, it's a big list. Jesus Christ, Caleb, you've been a busy little boy. A lot of these women I'm still seeing or I've seen recently, like in the last few years. So this is my whole life. I only made the conversion to Alpha Male 2.0 in 2007. So when I started tracking this stuff on spreadsheets, I started in earnest with specific information in, like I said, September of 2008. So I had to backtrack just from memory on stuff prior to 2008. There were not a hell of a lot of women prior to 2008. There were a few in 2007. And then early 2007 is when I got divorced. So there was just one woman for 9 years. And then I dated a few women before I got married in my early 20s. And that's about it. I lost my virginity when I was about 23. So from 0 to 23, there were 0 women. Now I have another list here. Let's see as I scroll down. I have another list here. Interesting. That's right. I forget. I haven't looked at this list in a while. These supplemental lists. All I do with this major list is I add new women in terms of having sex. I just add new names, and new ages and things like that. But I have another list here of women that I have kissed but never had sex with. That's a pretty large list too, because I went through a period of time many years ago where I would try to make out with girls on first dates rather than trying to have sex with women, which is stupid. So I stopped doing that. So most of the names on this kissed but not had sex list are for many, many, many years ago. As a matter of fact, let's look here. Let's see if there are any women here who I have kissed and not had sex with recently. Not really. There's about, let's see here. It's about 8 names on this list. I'm not going to give you the specific numbers in terms of number of women I've had sex with. I've talked about why before. That'll just create a bunch of nitpicker arguments. But this is a very, very large list. And about 8 of these women are in the last 5 years. All the rest were way past 5 years ago. Anywhere from, let's see, this first one was a girl in high school I kissed that didn't have sex with, all the way back to 2007 to 2009, 2010. So 10 plus years ago. So anyway, then I have a very small list here. This is interesting. I certainly have not had to update this list, thank God. Very small list. There's only 7 names on this list of women I have been sexual with beyond kissing, but did not actually have sex with. There's only 7 women on that list. That speaks pretty well to my system. That's pretty good. I don't encounter a lot of ASD or LMR, as the pickup artists call that. That's last minute resistance, where you're trying to have sex with a woman for the first time and you're getting sexual, but the last minute she says no. I don't really have that problem because I follow a 2-date model. I don't try to have sex with women on the first date. I don't try to have sex with complete strangers. I just don't do that. So I reduce a lot. The reason I like the 2-date model that I teach, the Black Dragon dating model, is because it reduces ASD. You're meeting up with a woman for the second time in a different location. And because of the time difference, it feels to her like you know her better, like she knows you better. So it actually reduces ASD. Now, the way this model can be abused is if guys go many, many dates before they have sex. That's when women throw you into friend zone. So there's this very weird zone where if you picture like a bar chart going across, a horizontal bar, there's like this red zone where ASD is too high, where if you try to have sex with her, either she's going to say no, or if you're very lucky, you can eventually have sex with her in this zone, but it's going to be a lot of work for you. A lot of thrill the hunt hardcore player guys kind of like that. I don't like to work very hard for my sex. Then there is this green zone where ASD is low. And then there's another red zone, if you go a little too far, another red zone at the end where she puts you into friend zone. And now it's really hard to have sex with her. So you can do this both too soon and too late. And the fact that I've got, in terms of the women I've had sex with, a gigantic list, and then a second list of only 7 names of women I never had sex with but got sexual with, speaks pretty well to that. Pretty good. Because the women on the larger list of the women who I have kissed but not had sex with, the vast majority of those were where the kissing took place not at my house. It was usually at some kind of first or second date venue, like a bar or something like that. And again, I don't do that. I don't teach. Matter of fact, I teach do not kiss on the first date. So that's why a lot of these kissed but not had sex with names are very, very old. So going back up and scroll back up here. I think I got a big monitor to fit all these goddamn names. Barely. So the columns I have, if you were curious, maybe I shouldn't say some of these columns. I don't want to get in trouble here. So why don't I say this? So one column is, the first column is their name. Second column is their age at which we had sex for the first time. The next column I probably shouldn't say. It gets a little too personal. Next column I probably shouldn't say. The next column is, did they come back after a listen fitty? So did these women come back after they left me for a monogamous relationship? And almost all of them say yes. They either say yes or NA, which means they never got to lock in. So what I talk about is that once a woman has sex with you twice, it is in her head that this is the guy I'm having sex with now. So a relationship, an ongoing relationship, FB, MLTR, what have you, is much easier at that point than it is on the first date before you have sex or after you have sex just one time. A lot of women one-night stand men. A lot of them, particularly alpha males. Alpha males get one night stood by women all the damn time. So there's a decent number of women in here. And the percentage, I believe, is 26% of women I had sex with once, and then they one night stood me. Now that's pretty good. That's probably the best in the dating industry. That means 74% of all the women I've had sex with were long-term ongoing relationships. Most guys who teach pickup artist dating skills, that is in the inverse. Maybe 10 or 20% of the women they have sex with become ongoing relationships, and the vast majority they never see again. Which, again, to me is just silly. It's just a waste of time. So yeah, just about every name on here is either NA or yes. There's very few no's. Let me look at a no up here. See if I can find a no. Okay, so here's a no. So as I've talked about before, I have a 94% return rate. So when a woman leaves me, 94% come back. So here's one of the 6% who did not come back. This is, I won't say her name. This is a woman back in 2007, long time ago. She was 41, so one of the older women. She was very religious. I was the second man she had ever had sex with, even though she was 41. She was out of a long divorce. And she was looking for something very serious. And she never came back. I think I tried. Did I contact her later? I think I did, but it was many years later. The first page of names here, it's the only no on this this list here. Interesting. Let me go back to the top here. So the very first woman is the woman I lost my virginity to. I have written about her at the Black Dragon blog. I wrote at least 2 articles about her, about my experiences and what happened there. She was 42 at the time, and I was 23 or 2, I forget. So she was, damn near 20 years older than me. I didn't care. It's a young beta male. Then there's a few other names, and then we reached the woman who I married, my first wife. She was 31 the very first time. Then the next name after her is obviously the very first woman I had sex with after my divorce, after my separation, actually. And I've talked about that before. When I got divorced is that I wanted to use social circle game to get the ball rolling before I really hit it hard with online dating, although I did. But I knew there'd be a time between when I started online dating and when I could actually start dating a new woman or having sex with a new woman, because I was a beginner back then, didn't know what the hell I was doing. So while I started online dating, I sat down and I made a list of all the women I personally knew who I knew were single, not married, who I would have had sex with. Most of these women, actually all these women, were women who I used to have worked with in various companies I had consulted with. And there were, I don't remember now, I think I'd have to look this up in another spreadsheet, 6 names on that list, and I had sex with 3 of them. And the woman I had sex with first was the one I was the most excited about, because she was my type. Blonde hair, big boobs, trim body, blah, blah, blah. So there she is. And then scrolling down here a little bit, there is the first woman that I fell in love with after my divorce. We dated for about 8 months, maybe. And then she just suddenly left out of the blue. We were getting too serious. And she actually had commitment issues, which is kind of ironic because I did too. And did she come back? Yes, she came back many, many years later. We dated for about 4 or 5 months the second time around. That was around 2013. So she started in 2007 into 2008. And then she came back around 2013 for a few months. So yes, even she came back. She was 31 at the time. Yeah. So let's see, scrolling down. Oh, here is the first 18-year-old I ever had sex with. So this is the first time when I first started trying to date younger women. I believe this is 2009. I don't have dates here. So what I do, I have another spreadsheet that actually has dates. And so the very first column is the date, September 22nd, Thursday, 2008. It goes from September 2008 all the way to today. And even in the future, as I put in more events, I fill it out. So I have dates on that one, so I could pull up these names on that other spreadsheet to see exactly the dates. I believe this person was 2009. I'm pretty sure that's when I started really trying for the first time to date much younger women. So what I did is when I first got started, I was 35. And so from 2007 to mid 2009, I stuck with women in my own age range, as you can tell from the ages of women I've just named. So women in their 30s, early 40s, and sometimes late 20s. I never went below age 28. I was too scared, or I thought that would never work. Oh, I'm 36. I'm 35. No woman who's 26 would ever fuck me. What a dumb shit I was. But that's what I really thought back then, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So in 2009, I said, you know what? Let's try this. Let's try going after women who are like 18, 19, 20. 22, 23. Let's just try it and see what happens. Worst case scenario, a bunch of women go, ooh, gross, you creeper, and tell me to fuck off, and that's it. And I'll just keep going with the women in, my own age range. That's fine. I had one false start with a woman who was 20, I believe. I've mentioned her a long time ago before. That was the first time I had a date with a woman who was much younger. So I was 36 or 37 at the time. She was 20, and she spent 20 minutes straight talking about her hair, like shampoo and conditioner, like, oh my God. And then I did this. And then I conditioned my hair like that. And I hate it when, oh my God, and then, oh my, what a fucking bitch. Oh my God. So, and I'm sitting there going, oh my God, fucking kill me. But she was 20 and she was hot. So I'm like, you're so dumb and you're so hot. What do I do with this? Now, that didn't work. I never saw her again. So she is not on any of these lists. We didn't kiss or do any of that stuff. So I believe the second woman who I actually got on a date with, I think this was her, the one I'm looking at here. She was 18. I was nervous, or not nervous, but I wasn't unsure how to proceed. So we didn't have sex until the 4th date. I think that's right. Again, I have to look this up on another sheet, but I'm pretty sure 4th date. Yeah, it was the 4th date when we had sex. And then she became someone I dated for quite a while as a FB and then as a low-end MLTR later. So, and she was also one of the women who I saw for a very long time, off and on for many, 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 many years. I ended up having sex with many of her friends and even some of her family members. Woohoo! Yay. So that's her. 2009. Let me scroll down here. Let's see some other names that are notable. Let's see. There's a 19-year-old. Oh yeah, I remember her. Okay. And there's a 25. So there is the woman I've called HB Runner, HB Fitness. She was 25, dark hair, very pretty, very physically fit. That's the woman who I have mentioned before, who later, a few years later after this, after we first started having sex, she became an MLT. Was she an MLTR? Yeah, she was an MLTR. She got pissed one day because she saw another woman. Matter of fact, where is her name on this list? Oh, there she is. Another woman, a blonde woman, who was posting flirty shit on my Facebook page. And this is back, 2009-ish, maybe 10, I think 2009. And she got pissed. So she dumped me in anger, went out on a first date with another guy, immediately fucked him on the first date and got drunk with him. And she gave him herpes. Yeah. So now she has herpes. Yeah, not fun. I haven't talked to her in a long, long time. This is a long time ago. I think I contacted her. When was the last time I talked to her? About a year and a half ago, 2 years ago on Facebook. We just talked for a little bit. She has 2 kids now. So, yeah. I'm still buddies with just about all these women. I still don't contact it, even if sporadic once a year, once every other year contact with the majority of these women. I've never had a bad breakup since becoming Alpha 2.0. So these are all, friends of mine. The woman right below her, this is interesting. I'm not going to say her name. She's 24, blonde, 24 years old at the time. This is 2009-ish. Let's see. What does that symbol mean? I put a symbol in one of the columns. I don't remember what it meant. This is such a long time ago. But anyway, she was a college student, and she is one of the women who contacted me just a few months ago out of the blue when COVID hit. So when COVID hit, and I'm not the only guy this has happened to, a lot of women suddenly contacted me just out of the blue. Women I haven't talked to or had sex with for years. Hey, Caleb, how's it going? I mean, that happens, but not to the numbers that happened when COVID first hit. So there's something magical about societal crises. When women get nervous or something and they want to seek something that they liked or was comfortable with or felt safe with, or I don't know what it is. It'd be an interesting psychological dynamic to examine. I have some theories, but I don't know for sure. But a bunch of women just hit me up out of the blue. Hey, Caleb, how's it going? And I'm not talking about sugar babies. I just started sugar daddy game just a few years ago. We're still way back, 10 years ago. So no, these are not women I ever paid or gave any money to. These are just normal women. And she hit me up just 2 months ago. We had a nice long chat. We should hang out. And then I didn't really pursue it because, I got a pretty full plate of women already. But anyway, that's her. Interesting. Let's scroll down here. There is HBM, 19 years old at the time. This is the Asian woman I dated in a serious relationship before I met Pink Firefly. She was the OLTR-ish woman that I had. I identified her as a girlfriend after several years of seeing her as an FB. And much like the other woman I mentioned, I ended up sleeping with a lot of her friends. Very, very fun. One of the longest consistent relationships I've had. And she came back after us breaking up too. She's a big yes by her name. They all have yes. Let's see. And then around the same time, a woman who I've mentioned before, I've called her Sadie. She, Russian woman. She was 23 at the time. Very attractive. Because she's Russian, of course. Big boobs, blonde hair, curvy body, everything daddy likes. And we are still good buddies. She lives in the East Coast now. Good close friend of mine now. She was an MLTR for quite a while. And then kind of came and went for a little bit and then moved. And really great person. Very smart, very intelligent, an extraordinary person. So that's the same time as HBM. Yeah, interesting. Let's see, going down here. So now this is, I'm so tempted to say their names. I can't. This is a woman, 27 years old. She was the regional manager of a Starbucks, of a chain of Starbucks stores, and red hair. And here's what's interesting about her is we dated as serious MLTRs. Serious. Her and I were very serious. Not OLTR, but very serious for me. Serious MLTR. And we had a discussion once where I was uncomfortable calling her my girlfriend. Don't remember the reasons. I wrote some of this stuff down. I have to pull that up. But she didn't like that. She got a little sad. So she left me, dated another guy. And of course, there's a big yes by her name. She came back. We had sex a few times. I think in 2012 was the second time she came around. And then she went lesbian. And she's the only woman on this list to do this. She didn't go bi. She went full lesbian. She actually married a woman and then amazingly got divorced because long-term monogamy doesn't work even when you're gay. So she got divorced, married another woman, and at this point, she is now married onto her second wife. And as far as I know, and I'm pretty sure I'm right about this, I am literally the last man she had sex with. I don't know what that says about me. Maybe that says something very bad. Who knows? But like I said, that's the only woman on this entire list. Unless there's someone I don't know about. No, I'm pretty sure that actually went gay. So it's interesting how these women end up. So scrolling down here are some relatives of some of the women I just mentioned above. I won't go into detail about those, but that was fun. Oh, yeah, all there. I remember her. Oh my goodness, boy. Some of these things I shouldn't even talk about. So I'm actually self-censoring myself right now. Sometimes I want to say certain things, but I try to keep things quiet. Things that might embarrass people now, things that they did years ago, blah, 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 blah. So there's another friend. Let's see her. Oh, there's a 19-year-old who I was the oldest man she had ever had sex with. She actually had given oral sex to one of her high school teachers who was 28 at the time before me. And then I was I 40 by then? Maybe not. Maybe I just turned 40. I don't have dates on this list here. And then next few names down, this is the woman who was my longest consistent FB. She was a consistent FB, no breaks, no listen fitties, no nothing, for, I believe, 8 years, 7.5 years straight. So what most FBs do, and this is typical and normal, including my FBs I have today, is they get boyfriends and they leave. And then they break up with the boyfriends and come back to you because long-term monogamy doesn't work. So either they break up with the boyfriend and come back to me, or they cheat on the boyfriend and come back to me. Now, side note, this is happening less often. Monogamy has gotten so bad, and the economy is getting so bad, and various other economic factors and cultural factors. A lot of the women who see me now just tell their boyfriends, hey, I don't care if you don't like it, I'm going to see this guy. And the boyfriend goes, okay, because the boyfriends are beta, because most men are beta. But typically, normally, women will stop seeing you if they get a boyfriend. But this particular woman I'm talking about, she was 23. Again, when she was 23, the first time we had sex. That means I was having sex there well into when she was 30. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. I think I stopped seeing when she was 30, 29, something like that. She would get a boyfriend and keep seeing me consistently. Now, that doesn't mean like every week for 7 years. There might be a few weeks in there where she didn't see me because she was busy or I was busy. But it was never a break in that relationship. And the only reason I stopped, well, Caleb, why'd you stop seeing her? The only reason I stopped seeing her, she started getting really fat. And I just, if you gain some weight, I don't mind, especially if you're a trim woman to begin with. Matter of fact, a lot of women look better when they gain a little weight, especially when they're really skinny. But she went overboard and really gained it, which is typical of a lot, most American women. And unfortunately, I had to end it. It was very nice, though. We're still friends. I talked to her, I think, let's see, what did I talk to her about? About 2 years ago, I think. Yeah, I told her about how I was getting married and stuff. And she was like, oh, that's right. So, yeah, that's her. Let's see what else we got here. How are we doing on time? Oh, 25 minutes. All right, maybe I'll go another 5 minutes for this. This is fun. Fun trip down memory lane. So there is, I remember her. Well, should I talk about her? Sure. Maybe not. Okay. So here's a woman who, this is an interesting case. She was Russian. Now, this is before I stopped dating Russian women. If you're curious as to why I stopped dating Russian women, you can Google Black Dragon blog, why I no longer date Russian women, and I go through all the reasons. But this is before that. So this woman, I met her in 2009-ish, and nothing really happened. We did not have sex or anything, so we just kind of blew her off. But she kind of kept in contact with me. And eventually I circled back and had sex with her years later when she was 35. So I think I met her when she was 30 or 29. When she was 35. Russian, kind of a bitch. Again, not a bitch to me, like I've talked about. I don't mind if women are bitch to other people, but not really bitch to me. But she started getting bitchy to me, and then she wanted commitment very fast because Russian. And so she left me and immediately started dating some random guy that she already knew. She pulled in some friend zone guy, started dating him. And 4 months after that, she died. So there's only 2 women on this giant list here of women who have passed away. she basically drank herself to death. She would wake up in the morning. I caught her doing this twice. She would wake up in the morning and immediately start doing shots of vodka. And her doctor said, look, if you keep drinking, you're going to die. And she died. I mean, I laugh about it now, but it was not a fun thing to go through. Now, we weren't together when this happened. This was 4 or 5 months after she left me. But sad because she had a kid and everything. It was not good. You know, it's a lot. As I've talked about before, a lot of Russian women have a lot of darkness that they have to wrestle with. It's kind of sad. So let's move on from that sad story. Let's go down the list here. Where is her name? Right. I lost my place in this list here. Where the hell is she? Oh, here she is. Okay. All right. Going down some more. And oh, look at that. There's Pink Firefly. So we're getting into now 2014-ish or so. There she is. 34 years old. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. When we had sex, 34 years old. Yep. And did she come back? Yes, she did. Yep. And now we're married. So that was a long time ago. Going down here. Oh, here's a woman who, this is interesting. So this is another weird, exception to the rule type story. This is a woman who, it's too bad, she was really nice too. Cute, really nice, had sex like very quickly, like, second date. We met at a Starbucks, and then for the second date, she's later like, I can come over to your place. I'm like, ooh, okay, come on over. And just literally, she walked in the door, talked for 5 minutes, started having sex. And so then she said for the third time we met, she didn't want to come over to my house. She goes, I kind of feel weird about just having sex with you. She didn't say this, but that's kind of what she said. Can we actually like go out to dinner? And I'm like, well, this is weird. So we've had sex once. I'm taking her to dinner. I've never really done it this way, but whatever, sure. She's fine. How old is she here? She was 29. Oh, she was 29. So that's when ASD starts to rise. 27, 28. It really spikes hard at 33. So she's getting into the ASD zone. And during that dinner, I said something she didn't like on a political opinion because I was talking too much, which is why I say on first dates, don't talk. But I thought I was safe because we already had sex, but we weren't safe because we had not yet hit lock-in. And lock-in is sex twice, not once. And I forgot about that. So I shot my mouth off about something, and her eyes got wide, and she's like, whoa, and she was weird the rest of the night, and I never saw her again. And I actually texted her and asked her, hey, what is anything wrong? She goes, well, what you said about da-da-da. I don't like that. I'm like, okay. So there you go. So yes, I can make mistakes. I definitely have made a lot of mistakes. No question about it. So going down here, let's see, going down here. Oh, okay. Now here's some women that I started seeing when I started making regular trips to Vegas. That's why I put the word Vegas in parentheses by them. Some of those are one night stands, I guess, violating what I said earlier, but those are long distance people. So, a little different. So I guess I should revamp that statement. I've never hooked up with a woman just one time who lived in my region. I have not done that. So if that's ever happens because they lived far away. So scrolling down here. Okay. Now this is about when I started dabbling with sugar daddy game. And so I start to see a few women here I met on some of the sugar daddy sites, just a few. I didn't go hardcore with sugar daddy game. I wanted to slowly integrate that into my dating model, into the online dating stuff that I was doing. I am against the entire concept of paying for sex at a philosophical level, but I could see the winds of change and I wanted to add that tool to my toolbox. So I started mixing in a little, just sticking my toe in the pool a little bit for online dating, sugar daddy game just a few years ago. And as you keep scrolling down here, now the women start to mix, 50-50 normal FBs / sugar babies, some of which have received money from me, some of which have not. And then we finally, scrolling all the way down, we're at the bottom now, and here we are. And the last name I see on this list here is my newest FB from just a few months ago. So that's it. That's the list. And let's see here. There's a lot of other data that I could share with you in a summarized fashion. So if this was interesting to you, let me know and I can do more podcasts like this because I have lots of data beyond just a list of names. I have dates and return rates and things like that. If that's of interest to you, let me know and I can do more podcasts on this. If this is boring to you, then let me know and I won't do this again. I don't really care. It's whatever. These podcasts are really for you, so it's whatever you want to do. So I will see you next week. Have fun. See you soon. Bye.